It's all right. So we're at Tone's Coffee Shop, High Wycombe. Really the CEO of the shop, Tone. Good to see you. Good to speak to you.
How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. How about yourself?
Very good. Always good. Always good.
So I'm just gonna get into it today. I've got a question. So how would you describe yourself in relation to Tone's Coffee Shop?
How would I describe Tone Coffeeshop, or how would I describe myself?
Both.
Okay, so if I start off with myself, I would say, firstly, I always try and be positive. That's an attribute of mine is positivity. Do you know what I mean? In whatever field that might be. Who I am, as in identify. How do I identify? I'm saying, the first thing I'm going to be is a black man. You know what I mean? What type of black man? It's British, it's Jamaican, it's African. There's all those things mixed together. Mixed in with the London and the Slough and the, you know what I mean? All of that mixed in together and all the experience put together. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, being a 71 child, you know what I mean? The things that influence a 71 child, you got Star Wars, you got comics, and of course you got the hip hop. You know what I mean? Along with the sports, the football and whatever. So all of that comes together, and when you take that in mind, that's what you're going to find in Tone Coffeeshop. Do you know what I mean?
And how long have you had this shop going?
So this shop has been going now for almost 8 years, 7 years. We started in 2016. Pop up in Old Street, a couple of months. Then we did a pop up in North London, near Highbury, for a couple of months, and then we were in Wilson Green for about 2 years. Then from there, we had a little bit of a break, and then we've been here since 2019. So yeah, it'll be 8 years next year.
It's interesting you've moved around London as well. Has the shop always been popular, like in these different parts of London, or have you had more experience, more success, would you say, up here in High Wycombe?
So London was cool, but the first 2 spots were pop-ups. So we were never planning to stay there. And on the real tip, it was me learning everything. I didn't know anything. I made so many mistakes in those venues, you know what I mean? So then we went to Wilson Green, we were chilling there, and that was cool. But again, the actual unit itself was not purpose built.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it was cool and everything, and still I didn't know enough. I was still learning and everything. So I had a little bit of a break. So when this spot came up, I slightly changed how we were running, and made it specifically coffee shop based. Whereas before there was a lot more of the events based.
Right.
And I kind of, I wouldn't say I neglected the coffee shop part, but I didn't really focus on the coffee shop part. You know what I mean? And so now here we made the coffee shop part first, and then all the events came later.
Yeah, that's cool, and it's a really nice vibe you got in this shop, I have to say. Like the artwork. What influenced you to sort of present the coffee shop in this unique way that you've got? It's really kind of different. I mean, I've done some travelling. It's got almost like a American feel to it. But what was your influence to sort of the design of the shop and the layout, etc.?
So it's like I said before. So I don't drink, right? So if I'm gonna go and hang out or whatever, it's usually in a coffee shop. And I've been to many coffee shops, but they didn't really appeal to me. They might have a nice little ambiance or whatever, but it was never like, yeah, this is for me, this is for us. Do you know what I mean? And so I went all over the place, New York, and everyone's like, well, I can't find a coffee shop that plays a bit of the music and a bit of art on the walls and has it all together. So I said, well, if no one's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it myself. You know what I mean? So all the stuff you see is basically stuff I'm interested in, stuff that has influenced me, and it's a reflection of that. That's it in a nutshell.
I guess, you mentioned New York music before, you mentioned hip hop, so let's get into that. So some great iconic covers on the wall, some great bands on the wall. But tell me how your background basically with hip hop. How did you experience it? Because it's not purely music. You know, back in the day, you would have had, you know, graffiti, breakdancing, or body popping. You would have had, you know, the different elements, the different pillars of hip hop. You know, beatboxing, and of course MCing, DJing. So like, how did you get into it first? And what was your environment like? Was it all the kids were all into hip hop, I'd imagine? Tell us a bit
so
about that.
I grew up in and around West London. My first step into hip hop, like mostly a lot of people my age, they didn't know it was hip hop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the first thing I knew, my mum's come back from America, New York, and she had a record, and it was Rapper's Delight. Still got the same record. You know what I mean? I didn't know it was hip hop. I just liked that tune. Man. I used to play it 24/7. Do you know what I mean? And then from there, you know, then the private radios come on. You know, LWR, JFM, and you start listening to these tunes, innit? But the thing that made me really think about hip hop, because I was into dancing. I used to love dancing. Do you know what I mean? You know, back in the day, I was doing a robot and all that. And I used to see Buffalo Girls on Top of the Pops. The next day I come into school, that's all everyone was talking about. The video to Buffalo Girls. A man's doing a body wave, you know what I mean? And all of that. And from then I was hooked. You know, the main element I was interested in, obviously, was listening to music, was MCing. So I used to body pop and trouble that. I wasn't too much of a good breaker. I could break a little bit. But I was able to MC, so I used to write a little bit, MC a little bit, all that kind of stuff. Did a couple of recordings over the days. Had a little contract with Cold Sweat.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, unfortunately that didn't go. So they went bankrupt before they put our stuff out. Ours was like the next album to come out, and they folded before that happened.
So what was the name of your crew?
Poets Corner.
Sorry?
Poets
Corner. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you said like dancing was your sort of first gateway looking at Top of the Pops. Top of the Pops doesn't get enough recognition because we saw a lot of things on Top of the Pops that we probably would never have seen. And I thought hip hop was a break dance term, to be honest, because it was dancing was where we all kind of came in. And then similar to yourself, for me it was the MCing, although I didn't get as far as you in terms of a record deal. That's quite impressive. So in terms of hip hop now, what do you think of the state of hip hop? Because it's changed a lot from when we would have consumed it, and it's gone through different phases. With your shop, this hip hop theme, what do you think about the state of hip hop now? Can you relate to what's going on now the same way? And do you embrace all hip hop?
So the first thing I would say is this, and I use this phrase a lot. Not everything is for everyone. Do you know what I mean? And that is okay. That's the whole phrase I use. Not everything is for everyone, and that is okay. Hip hop, the majority, the hip hop that I hear, is coming out now. The majority of it is not for me. Do you know what I mean? And that's okay. You know what I mean? Because there's some hip hop which you have to dig for, which is great, but you got to dig and you got to search. Now a lot of people are like, man, that's not right. Like, I'm like, bro. In 1980, you had to dig and search.
You did.
It wasn't on the TV. It wasn't on the radio. You had to go record shop. You were like this all day.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, the state of popular hip hop. That's what we're really talking about. Pop music ain't for me. It's not for me. But people are still making great hip hop. You just gotta search for it. Now I'm very much. I like the breaks, you know what I mean? And the foundation of the tune to be from breaks rather than the synthetic sounds and all that kind of stuff. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the new stuff is whack or rubbish, but it's not for me. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was very much about the MC and the DJ and you know even the producer and what it was about originality.
Yeah.
Don't be the same as the next guy. Unfortunately, now to be popular, it's all about being exactly the same as the next guy. Do you know what I mean? And so they use the same sounds, they use the same cadences, they use the same subject matter. You know what I mean? Whereas when you go back to the 90s, late 80s, even early 2000s, maybe, it was all about being individual. Don't sound like the next person. Do you know what I mean? And that kept it fresh.
Exactly.
Kept it fresh. Do you know what I mean? You know, even the individual MCs didn't want to make the same album. No, the next album they make is going to be brand new and fresh. They're just going to sound like the album they did before. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that's why I prefer, you know, the late 80s, 90s hip hop. But that's not to diss the youngins, because they're doing their thing and their thing is for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you said, not everything is for everybody, man. It's okay. And I'm with you, really. It's just taste, really.
Yeah,
but I think it's eras as well. I like, you know, you mentioned about break-orientated music. There's a whole subculture with that, like digging in the crates and, you know, trying to find samples, trying to find sources of samples and producers, engineers, studios. You can learn a lot from that and take a punt on a record that you probably have never heard before. So it's fun times. Okay, just getting back to the coffee shop. I noticed here there's some coffee beans. Tell us a little bit about these coffee beans in front.
Yeah, like I say, the whole thing has a foundation of hip hop, right? And it's to be original. So my coffee beans are Tone Coffeeshop coffee beans. Right. They're original. You can't get it nowhere else.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Can't be like the next person. You know what I'm saying? So people are like, oh man, you're Jamaican, why you just come with the Blue Mountain? I'm like, yeah, I thought about that, but I'm like, nah, I've got to come with Tone Coffeeshop coffee beans. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, you know, that's the whole point of it. Yeah.
And have you always had your own brand, or is this something that you've evolved into doing? You know, I'm talking about back in the times when you were doing the pop-ups. Is it really something that you've done now? You're more settled. You've got your own base now.
So the beans come from day one. In fact, we had the beans before we had the coffee shop.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Because I knew straight away that that's the route I'm going. Do you know what I mean? I want to be original. I don't want to be like nothing else. I'm looking, obviously, you can take inspiration from anything. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I'm not looking at this, I'm not looking at that. I'm taking inspiration from wherever inspiration can be found. But I want to be original. I want to do my thing. I want to, you know, not be silly with it, but I want to go this lane, you know. And so that's what it was all about. You know, maintaining something which was authentic and true to me, knowing that I was doing it for me, keeping it real, and not doing it just to make the money. Because another thing, I can follow a blueprint and make loads of money and but it wouldn't be authentic. You know what I mean? And you would know it's not authentic. So that's how Tone Coffeeshop came to be how it is.
I don't know anybody who has their own brand of coffee, selling a coffee shop. I know 2 coffee shop owners, and I wouldn't even thought that someone would have gone to that measure when things are so accessible to just, you know, buy your own coffee whenever and price whatever. But I love the way you've aligned it with your artistic beliefs about being original, you know, not biting, you know, just doing your own thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. And are these? Could anybody buy this? Are they on sale for retail?
Yeah, so we sell our beans. The kilo bag is £22 and 250 bags are £5.95. That's what it is. They're high quality beans. For those who know their coffee, they're dark roast, Arabica, 100% ethically sourced. So you know, we make sure that, you know, the people that are picking the beans are looked after. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people being exploited in this industry. So we make sure our beans are all ethically sourced. It's a mix and blend of 3 different beans: El Salvadorian, Indian, and Brazilian. To get that smooth caramel taste.
Nah, one of the reasons why I came up here, I heard that the coffee is nice, so I made sure I had a sample, and yeah, it's a really nice flavour to it, I have to say that. So, apart from hip hop, obviously we've spoken about the coffee shops. Do you have any other sort of growing up or currently? Do you have any other passions or talents?
My problem is I have too many passions. Do you know what I mean? I have too many passions. Like I speak to people sometimes, and you know we have a lot of conversations here, and blah, blah, blah. And people, I say, "Oh, so what are you into?" Nothing really. I can't get my head around it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, how can you be into nothing? I'm into everything. You know what I mean? So you're talking sport. Yeah, sport in general. I like sports, but football and basketball in particular, boxing in particular. Do you know what I mean? Then art. I go to art galleries. I paint myself. Do you know what I mean? Pictures and stuff, blah blah blah. Which is one of the passions for the things on the wall. Live music. Sportswear. Do you know what I mean? I could go on and on and on. Comics. Comics and the whole comic book life. Do you know what I mean?
Iron Man, is that a particular favourite?
No. So a lot of people don't know about Iron Man. They seen the Iron Man in the movies. Yeah, like the Iron Man there is he. So those who know, the comic book industry tries to reflect life. They can't always put that in the movies because they saw the movies. But the comic books have been going for years and years and years. And Iron Man as a character, one of the things that happened to him, he had a breakdown because he was an alcoholic. Do you know what I'm saying? And so that issue right there is a very classic issue of the demons within. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of exposes in things. You know what I mean?
I love Stan Lee's vision. Like a rapper by the name of MF Doom, he was very influenced by Stan Lee. Like he always used to say, like, those who are familiar, he's got different characters. You know, Victor Vaughan, he's got Mad Villain, he's got Danger Doom, he's got JJ Doom, and of course MF Doom. But he would say, I'm not a rapper, I'm a writer. So he was very influenced by Stan Lee and always tried to show vulnerability in his characters. And that's the thing about Marvel in particular. I'm not a big DC fan, but most of the characters have some sort of vulnerability, and I think that's one of the things I like about comics as well. I can see clearly you're an Arsenal fan as well. Favourite Arsenal player of all time?
Well, it's going to have to be on me, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's to be on me. If you don't say on me, you're kind of like, But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that era, we were kind of blessed for our age because we did see, one of the greatest teams to ever play football in England. Do you know what I mean? The only thing they didn't do was bring home the Champions League, and we all know. You know what I mean? We was 10 against 11 there, maybe 10 against 12 in that match. But Henry, Bergkamp, I'm liking Saka right now. And that, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And I think, because I go to the Arsenal every now and again, and one thing I like about the Arsenal, compared to other grounds I've gone to, is it feels very inclusive for black people in the UK. Do you know what I mean? You go there, you don't feel like I'm a visitor. You go there, you feel like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I don't know how other black supporters feel from their clubs, but definitely at the Arsenal, you go there and it definitely feels nice.
I think there's two teams I could think of in the world who you probably could say that Arsenal's one, and the other one's probably Paris Saint-Germain. I've always noticed that they've got that kind of support base in Paris, but I think everybody knows that Arsenal has a black supporter base that's very strong and international as well. I mean, now I think Chelsea probably have got a lot of supporters from international. I know my cousin from the West Indies is a big Chelsea fan, a lot of them are, but maybe 10-15 years ago they were supporting Arsenal because they like to be fair weather over there. The weather's always good, that's why, so they don't really like the dark days. But no, it's interesting. I think Thierry Henry, man, one of the best players I've ever seen. What do you think about Arsenal under Mikel Arteta?
I think they're, you know what I like about us right now? We're doing what proper football teams are supposed to do. We follow the others a little bit with the spending the big money. I think you can't get out of that. But we're actually making our players better. and I think that's important. You know, over the years, we got our players going from being good to being great, and being compared to the other greats on the planet. Currently, you know, we had 2 players on the short list for the Ballon d'Or, which you know is great. Obviously not winning it, but you know, just to be on there at such a young age, you know, in the climate of the football landscape right now.
I think Arsenal have got probably the best production line from their academy as well, the Hale End. I think they're coming through now. Like I can't really see that at any other club.
Yeah, I mean obviously Ajax and you know some of them European clubs do bits and pieces, but it's good to see. You know, okay, we bought Martinelli in, but he played youth team. Saka, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Willock has gone overturned to Newcastle. You know, we're doing good things and we're bringing a few players. It's good to see. It's good to see.
Now, let's get back to something that you mentioned at the top of the piece, where you said that when you started doing pop-ups, you did it the other way around from what you're doing now. You did the events first, and then, well, your focus was the events first, then the coffee shop. So talk about the events, some of the events you had over the years, and some of the bigger events, if you like, that you've put on.
So obviously before, when we did the pop-ups and stuff, it was very much an evening thing. Yeah, I was thinking about the evening a lot more than I was thinking about the daytime. So you know, we had a lot of spoken word events, you know, open mic ciphers, this kind of stuff. Battle, MC battles. Do you know what I mean? We had Don't Flop come through. A lot of the North London guys, Tony D, and you know, you had Verb T and all kind of people come through. But I didn't really focus on the daytime. Here I focused on the daytime first. So we got that solid solidified. And then we came into the events. And that has actually given us the opportunity to have a greater impact with the event. So now we've been bringing in some of the US acts.
Okay.
So we've had NOG, we've had Large Pro, we've had Vasquez, we've had Elder Sensei, we've had Master Ace, we've had Elzai. Is there another list? And one more, and Live, a guy called And Live from Detroit.
Yeah.
And we was due to have Guilty Simpson and Fat Cat, but they got stuck in Detroit. Their plane didn't get through. And we've got more coming. So I'm not sure if I can say. It's been confirmed, but for January, we're looking at Chino XL. So that's the next big name on the agenda for the 20th of January. You know what I mean?
There's some crazy big names that I did not realise. You've actually worked with so many US acts. Some of my favourites like Master Ace and Last Professor, Razkaz, this incredible lyricist. Last Professor was my favourites. Does both lyrics and beats. I'm kind of screwing I wasn't actually here because I would definitely come. So how have you found like managing the overseas artists? I mean, first of all, you probably wouldn't think they'd be interested in showing love to a coffee shop. They might think they want to do arenas. I mean, that's a big venue, obviously, but you know what I mean? It's sort of bigger concert type. So how did you come up with the idea well, how does it work? I mean, do you work with someone from promoter, or do you go directly to the artist yourselves? And how did that all begin, really?
So first of all, you're absolutely right. I mean, any artist is going to want to play to a big crowd, right? So I'll give you a for instance. Razkaz, yeah? One night he's here, rhyming in front of 60 people in a small coffee shop. The next day, he's on stage in Manchester with Snoop Dogg, rapping in front of whatever that was, 80,000. Do you know what I mean? But he showed love to both events. And if you are authentic, then you're going to do that. So all I do, I just speak to them.
Right, okay.
I just like get contact. So they're so bona fide, you know, because they know each other. So they'll be like, yeah. I'll contact so and so for you. I'll see if he's cool. Then you contact him. I'm step out. So most of it's almost like a relay. This MC comes down. He'll give me the number of the next MC. He'll give me the number of the next MC, and so on and so on. And I just tell them what it is. I tell them what it is. I tell them this is my budget. Can you do it? And more often than not, they'd be like, yeah, because they've already got a tour. They don't need the extra money. You know what I mean? If they can fill it in, sell some merch, show some love, it's win-win-win. And the thing is, at these events, it's different. Because at them other events, they do the show, they walk off, you go home. At my events, they're with you. You know what I mean? They do they're here with you. You're chatting with them. You're getting them to sign your stuff. There's no barrier. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I thought was important for me, because I don't want a them and us situation. You know, you guys, you're rapping. You are where we are. Do you know what I mean? We're the same folk, and so I wanted to keep that that element to it, and so that's important. And like I say, every single one who's come through has been fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I forgot even to mention, you know, Marco Polo with Master Race, and you know, Mr. Len with Elder Sensei. Do you know what I mean? And the other DJs as well have come through, and we had a whole load of UK acts as well. So, no, the events have been really, really good.
Yeah, Marco Polo's a solid guy as well. One of the nicest people I've met. He's got really good skills. Him and Master Ace, good team. What's the biggest event then you've had in terms of like, you mentioned sometimes things can be rammed out. So what would you say the biggest one you've had so far?
Oh, gee, the biggest, as in, you know, the feel of it was most probably Master Ace. But the most ram was most probably Elzai. You know what I mean? Simply because that was a Friday. Master Ace was a Wednesday, Razkaz was a Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Razkaz was rap, but Elzai was crazy. Do you know what I mean? You know, because the thing is with the Elzai show, it was supposed to be three of them. It was supposed to be Elzai, Fat Cat, and Gilly Simpson. Do you know what I mean? So, unfortunately, on the day, they couldn't make it. Do you know what I mean? But Elzai absolutely smashed it. I mean, the levels of lyrical artistry was off the scale. You know?
Couple more questions. What advice? Well, let's actually start with this. Where do you see Tone Coffeeshop going in the next few years, the next 5 years? What's the elevation of the coffee shop?
So, firstly, I would like to open another site.
I was thinking that, yeah.
That's the first. Where, I'm not sure. Kind of thinking West London. Portobello area would be nice. Might be expensive, but you know, if you can get the footfall, then you know, hopefully that covers it. So that would be probably my look. Also to kind of grow it as a brand. Merch, get some more merch going. Get the name out there a little bit more. So artists, but I've had one or two artists which I don't want to name right now, just in case it falls through, who've asked me, can I come and perform? I was like, really? How are you contacting me, bro? But it's been cool. So yeah. You know, build it as a brand. You know, get the outreach there a bit more. We're looking to do like a mentoring thing with arts. So in particular the music arts, but including anything to do with the production of an event. So it might be the flyers, it might be the promotions, it might be the media. So I've managed to link up with a few people, funders in the area. So that's we've got the Rothschild Foundation, we've got the Wycombe Community Board, and we've got Red Kite. Three local funding organisations who are funding us to mentor young people in the arts. So whether you want to rap, whether you want to DJ, whether you want to work in promotions, whether you want to do this, we've got a whole bunch of people ready to help the young people get on that road. Do you know what I mean? And the funding to put that in action. So that's another thing that we can do associated with Tone Coffeeshop. I mean?
Please let Best Blog About know about that. That's something we definitely would like to feature and promote, because that's the sort of thing that we really do need to really cultivate the talent in the local area and to put them on the right path, you know. And event management is a skill. It's not easy to access the knowledge, but it's good that you're able to offer that service, and I hope that definitely comes through. We're looking out for that. Finally, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start a coffee shop? What are some of the things? And you mentioned earlier you made mistakes.
Loads of mistakes.
So if you could like share some of the do's and I guess some of the don'ts. If you wanna, because this is such a cool concept. Like when you mentioned Portobello Road, I can see it straight away. So there's no doubt that that's a winner there. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably want to start a coffee shop as a second business or just break away from the rat race. So what advice would you give?
First of all, you've got to do research into every part of what you want to do. From the products you want to sell, to the hours you want to open, to the clientele that you're trying to bring in, to the aesthetics of the shop itself, and all of the above. You've got to do the research into that. And you've got to do your numbers. You've got to do your numbers. A lot of people don't do their numbers, and that's why things fall down. But the most thing I would do, and this is what I really have tried, is be authentic, but be inclusive. Do you know what I mean? Don't sell out, be true to yourself, but don't make it so you're pushing people away. Do you know what I mean? Positivity attracts positivity. Do you know what I mean? So if whatever you're doing, do it for the positive reasons and the good reasons. Stay authentic, but be inclusive. Because when you try, unless you've got a very specific product, whatever that might be, it's very difficult to really be successful without being inclusive. Do you know what I mean? So for instance, if I'm only gonna sell certain food to a certain community, let's say I sell certain food and I'm only gonna sell to Bangladeshi people, unless I've really got it, I'm not going to be successful. Do you know what I mean? I might just be successful to a degree, but I'm limiting my success. Whereas if I'm selling this product which is favourable to Bangladeshi people, but everyone's welcome to come and buy it, happy days, isn't it?
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? So when you come into my store, you're going to be like, okay, this is different, and then you're going to walk up to the bookshelf and you're going to be like, wow. These books, wow, them photos, them pictures on the wall, do you know what I mean? And you're going to get the authenticity, you're going to get the influence, you're going to get the inspiration, and it's for everybody. Do you know what I mean? It's for everybody, and that's the main thing. I would say, make sure you do what you're doing is for everybody.
Brilliant. Before we go, where are you at? So, where's Tone's Coffee Shop based? Just tell everybody like where they can find the shop.
Yeah, so we are based right now in High Wycombe, Baker Street, and at Desbox Unit 1, HP11 2NP or HP11 2GG, which is the same place. We're open 10 till 4. Throughout the week, Monday to Saturday, hopefully Sunday soon. Events are usually 7 to 11, and you just basically have to keep your eye to the ground. Instagram, Tone Coffeeshop, Facebook, Tone Coffeeshop, X, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, Tone Coffeeshop. Everyone is welcome. Come down.
Perfect. Tone's been a pleasure. Thanks for taking out some time. I know you're busy, you're working right now, so I'll let you get back to the shop, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for spending time with Best Blog About, really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll catch up soon, man.
Thank you very much, man.